And we are live with a brand new event here for you today, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. As always, my YouTube audience, please remember to like and subscribe this video. The goal is 1,000 subs by the end of the year. Can you please help us hit that? There will be a sub goal if we do hit 1,000. On to tonight's event. It is another One Life Realism event. This one coming to us from the EUF group, which is a coalition of European groups that like to use the Scriptum Realism mod. Bunch of changes to make the game more authentic to a World War II milsim experience. The clans we've got with us tonight, I'll just go for them again. We've got the 6th GA, the 5th GB division, we've got the Partisans and also Sturm. They're on the Allies. On the Axis side, we've got the IR9, the 363 VD, and one more 7ID on the Axis side. The Axis will be the attacking team tonight with the Allies on the defense. No delay on this stream because it's kind of more of a just a chill One Life Realism event. Let's get into it. So we've seen these clans play against each other earlier in the week. You might remember that video. That video is up on YouTube. It's the best gameplay, Operation Best Flak. And we're going to see them going against each other tonight again. Just like that event, this one is also being played on Velmolen, a lot smaller event. Usually these One Life Realism events tend to be a lot slower paced due to the fact that it's a One Life event. You have limited amount of respawns to complete your objective, so players play a lot more cautiously because your life is so much more valuable. But on these smaller maps and with these clans, last time we saw them go up against each other, we saw action from the get-go very quickly, and that's what we're seeing already here from the get-go. We can already see the first casualty sustained there is Moore. He's been struck down by a volley of modders. Jonathan, the next one to go after him. You can see an exchange of machine gun fire going on both sides. We've got MG42s facing off against the Bren machine gunners. So we've got a lot of action on both sides. Like I said, there's going to be limited respawns for both sides. The objective tonight is for the Axis team to advance throughout the map and capture sectors of the map. I'm not going to list all the rules. There is a lot of them. The best I can do is say, if you want to be involved in these community-style events, look in the video description below this video. You'll find links to the EUF Discord and also the AEF Discord, because they work in tangent, where they organize, they promote, and publish their events for the clans to partake in. And you'll see a lot of realism, One Lifestyle events coming from these communities. Very fun. Recommend you get involved with them. Utilizing the Scriptum Realism mod that has been worked on by several people. Makes the gameplay so much more enthralling and different. Breaks away from the boring vanilla meta that we've got and brings something new and unique that only Scriptum can currently offer you. There we go. I finally nailed it. I nailed it, chat. I knew I'd get there eventually. So far, initial waves of machine gun fire towards each other. Volleys going out here. We've got a few mortars being exchanged as the Axis forces slowly test the resistance of the defenders here. Test their resolve. Looks like medics are trying to get to work, trying to see if there's any casualties that can be brought back to consciousness. You can see there's varied equipment on Axis tonight for the Allies to utilize, and also on the German side. We see that QF6, a big shot from that QF6, fired downrange, landed onto a half track that he saw. Half track very luckily somehow managed to survive that QF6. And this is another thing that these mods do. Look at these half tracks. These half tracks are unique from the vanilla half tracks. You can see they've been covered in camouflage, made to look more realistic to what they would actually be in the war. They're not just a plain vehicle. They've got that additional camo put onto them to make it harder to spot them, and it does work even in game, unless you're playing on super low render settings, which don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't play on low settings. Always play on the maximum settings. Don't be a cheat. Go on board Kraus here, who's on that MG42 on top of the half track, and see if he does any kind of suppressive work with that MG. Again, something completely different in these community-driven one-life events is the art of using suppression is so much more valuable in these events. Suppression pins your enemy down. They can't poke their head up. They can't fire back. It allows for your team to advance. You can see those QF6 shots returning. Talentless Loss was the first one to go down there. We'll go aboard Zyko. Zyko's using that MG42 off his half track, spraying through the tree lines, through the woods, trying to help his team advance there. I'm just going to lower the sound a little bit, because it is a little loud. There we go. That's a little bit better. Getting close to the MGs was a little bit deafening for me then. Mark Cilio on that MG42 as well. So IO9 trying to punch through here, using their assets to them. And I was just about to say before I got distracted by those half tracks and those shots coming in. These events, they're organized by an admin. He puts the stories together. He assigns what both teams have to use. This isn't just run to the main base, spawn a new tank kind of situation. The teams are given a certain amount of equipment to use. They're limited to it, and they have to make use and utilize it the best they can. So you can see the 363 squadron here doing a little bit of a flank over this side. More unfortunate him for again. He was the first casualty. He went down to a border. It looks like medic went over, patched him up, and he's been cut down again. More. Very unfortunate for him so far. Let's head back over onto the what would this be? This would be the eastern side. Lots of casualties suffered here for the Germans. Over here, but they're still advancing. They're using those vehicle assets very well, trying to get into some hard cover. They're coming up against some strong opposition here with Sturm, the Partisans, a couple of 6GA members over here as well, hoping to operate and organize the defenses over here. Further to the west, we go through a 5th GAB division, and then we head over all the way to the west. We've got a 6GA holding down this little crossroad junction here with the farming barn and also the little houses. Tough start for the Germans so far. A lot of open ground. They've got to push it through. Not a lot of cover. A few trenches, but then they're not huge concealment. The defenders certainly have the advantage at this point in terms of just having a greater opportunity. Oh, one Brennan going to go down there. You can see his body tumbling down from the roof. Bourne immediately rushing over, trying to see if he can save Webb as he gets sniped down from the roof there. Volleys of Kar 98s firing onto the defensive position over here. Let's head back on over to the other side of the map. The Germans not having so much success on this end of the field, meeting that very strong Sturm and Partisans defensive force, halting the push over here despite the assets the Germans have available to them. They've met a lot of resistance. A few kills going on here in the middle of the field. You can see 3 5th GB division members have gone down. Not quite sure how they went down. Mortars resuming a little bit of fire here onto the 6 guard armored defensive point. So that's how these one life events tend to be. Lots of action, 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 action. Then there's a lull, there's a pause, and then another waves of action comes in. So we had the initial first launch, lots of machine gun fire, rifle fire action all over the board in the first 5 to 10 minutes. Now we've calmed down a little bit as the teams get themselves into new positions. Calm down a little bit, just a little bit of rifle fire, machine gun fire here and there. But calming down. I love the work that goes into the mods, man. Just even small details like this, changing the vehicles to be actually visually on the outside anyway, to have camouflage, just to make them more realistic and just what they would be in the war, you know. Whenever I think of World War II, whether I was a kid, it would be like the little models, the little plastic models that you cut out and you glue all together. You see them on the boxes and stuff when you go into like a model shop, and it would always be like a half track or a panther, and it'd be covered in vegetation, bushes and stuff to make it blend in, and it just looks so cool. Jonathan goes down, Seb goes down, Cheese Right goes down. So gradual casualties on both sides here. You can see that QF6 holding the central point. That's going to be a big cannon, big asset for the Allied defenders here to utilize. Very hard for the Germans to break this initial line. You can see it's almost like one just long consecutive straight line, almost like a big long World War I trench that the Germans have to figure out how can they punch through this line of defense, get behind them, and clear them out. You can see there are gradual casualties going down. The marksmen for the Germans picking off the defenders one by one. The machine gun fire are going out, also suppressing the defenders there. And it looks like we've had one half track. Rest in peace, Pingu. Rest in peace. One of the German half tracks has been destroyed. I imagine that was from the 6-pounder for the Allies. And you see the push on the east. Suffered a lot of casualties there. That 6-pounder again, blasting away. Trying to dislodge the oncoming attackers. Withpel their attack.
Out there,
oh, I'm just throwing as many as I can.
I've got two.
Ooh, mortars narrowly missing Bourne and Watson then as they get back into their little foxhole. Taking cover from those mortars, raining down just above them.
We need to get out of here, mortar fired. Oh shit, half track at 9 o'clock. ABC load AP, load AP. You should see it in the forest, just left of the fog. It's moving in there, yeah, 12 o'clock, 12. Goodbye.
Had a huge shot there by that 6-pounder. Spotting that half track at distance. Good communication from the one who was mobile and the gunner, and there are, look at that, man. Blasted out the side of the half track, piled up bodies. It's almost like a scene from a movie, that. Jesus. What an absolute scene. The 6-pounder crew did then. Big squad wipe for them. Was that Monroe? Was it? I think it was Monroe and Hope. Monroe? Yeah, Monroe and Hope. Big kill from them there. Big target hit. And that was a lot of the German reinforcements that was heading on over to the eastern push here. They've been cut out with that one blast alone. So the rest of the squadrons over here having a real hard time pushing up against these Allied defenders who are in a good raised, hard position. You can see the half-track spraying the best it can. The half-track gunner goes down as he gets sniped out. Driver closing his window hatch, making sure he doesn't go down as well. That's all that remains over here. A couple of just a handful of IR-9 soldiers on the Axis side. Look at the immense fire they're under. Machine gun fire, rifle fire, all just spraying down at them. Heading back over to the west now. Mortars raining down. We have the 363. Looks like they attempted to do a push. Casualties sustained on their side, though. I don't know if they have a medic on hand who could maybe get a few of their injured comrades back up. Throwing a few casualties back. You see Boren's gone down there. That machine gun fire, very accurate on Mac, making Mac hit the deck. After 6GA are struggling to hold on a little bit to the western approach here. That 6-pounder doing a lot of work for the Allies, I've got to say. That one shot from that 6-pounder wiping out that truck filled with troops makes such a difference.
Hey, you need a medic?
I do.
Yeah.
Alright. Hang in there.
That's it. We've got another London combat. We go through stages. Action, action, action. Then we slow down back into a lull as both the teams regroup, reorganize, get themselves established again.
Right, we're back, we're out. Down the road.
How far west can we go?
Oh. We've got Scott in the command seat again
I'm bailing. Understood.
with his special hat.
Fifth Cabarracks, I'm having the Bren carrier being run down here.
No, we should
I'm having
push.
to.
Scott
Command.
says we need to push in. Go in the tunnel, dude.
Command said grab the Bren. Command said Bren
Follow-
carrier.
Okay,
Great
go
to
in the
have.
tunnel, dude.
Come on through the tunnel.
I meant you, Winter.
This is the fighting position. This is the fighting position we're fighting from.
Can you imagine if Postscriptum had VR in an event like this? That'd be pretty cool. Modders, get on it. Come on, modders, what are you doing? Hurry up. Looks like we've had a, what was that? Was that half track like doing a mad flank there for a second? Or was it doing a rescue mission? Looks like a rescue mission went underway there to retrieve the remaining trapped German soldiers. We'll head back over to the western side now. We've got a little bit of a big... In fact, we've got a big push coming in here now on the already weakened 6GA. Casualties being sustained by the Germans as they push in onto the western approach here. But nevertheless, they've got close to the compound. The Allied defenders here under a lot of pressure. Get hit by grenades and mortars, sustaining casualties. Well-placed grenades there. Lots of pressure coming in. Can the Germans keep up this pressure, though? Can they keep up this pressure? Another big grenade goes out there, taking down Winter. Watson, Bourne, and Dietrich in the background. Shackle, the first one, or the closest in at the moment. We've got Tonka. Tonka just took out Mac. Philip, German grenadier. He's got his explosives ready. He ain't taking any risk, man. He's got his grenadier kit on. He's got the grenade primed. See Watson there using his Enfield rifle the best he can to hold back this strong tide of German forces. I think Watson is the last line of defense at this point. Oh no, Bjorn and Winter are still okay, but a lot of pressure coming in As Bjorn, he gets headshot there from the advancing German troops. 7ID IR9. And the 363 all doing approaches now. Watson, as he tried to run across the road, instead of going through the tunnel, Watson, he gets shot in the back.
It's Rosberg's about.
And it's just left down to one defender now on this side.
Because we are like
Dietrich.
3 people anymore.
And the Germans have broken through the westernmost flank here. Do have reinforcements incoming. Can the Germans repel the incoming reinforcements? One shot goes out. More again, more. Every time, Moore's the first one to go down. I feel so bad, man. Moore goes down. Rosberg goes down as the Germans get themselves onto the roadside here. You can see them using that. It's turned into a close-range trench fight almost. As machine guns are exchanged on both sides, grenades goes out, grenadiers go out. Big battle going on here now. As the 6J are trying to breach into the trench system almost. The MG42 spraying out reinforcements, grenades from both sides, lots of casualties going out on either side. Look at the casualties being sustained from the close fire and grenades being tossed over each side of the road. Seb, one kill as he pushes across. He gets taken out by further back reinforcements though for the German side. What an awesome clash that was there. 6J rushed with reinforcements to try take back the western flank, but met immediately by a strong counter push by the Germans. It's kind of evened out now. We've got people alive on both sides still. Sure, the furthest alive for the Allies on the west. Wait, Ludwig is in this game? The Ludwig? Number 6 from Twitch? That's incredible. And sure, as he tried to retreat, he got shot in the back by the P38 pistol. The Partisans, you can see the Partisans here. The central defense have wrapped around a little bit, firing onto the western position, trying to help what remains of the 6GA defenders get onto this cap. Can't believe Ludwig died. No, Ludwig is still alive. Number 6 is still with us. He just shot Shorik. He's getting a few more kills here as he's peppering down. Dietrich is still alive. He's the last one alive again. Now it's left for the Partisans to hold this back. Let's head on over to the eastern flank now. Where you can see there's been a big push in again. This time by an IR-9 section pushing in on the east. Trying to break through what remains of the Sturm defenders over here. You can see there's actually been a push through. I completely missed that, but there has been a complete push through by the Germans here. Using that half-track to break through the center of the defenses. Rushing through the best they can. And now the encirclement can begin. You can see defenders here trying to relocate, trying to get themselves into safe positions. It looks like the Germans have completely overwhelmed the defenders on both flanks now. You can see the Partisans doing a good job there. The Partisans trying to keep this western flank from breaking. Good move in here by the Partisans group. Pinning down the western German forces, trying to halt their advance. So at least they can hold one flank, and they're doing a good job doing so far. When I think of Partisans, I always think of French. Got a small secondary line of defense going on here. With remnants of the first line of defense. It's kind of up to the it's up to the Partisans at the moment on the western side to hold back that wave until they get some further reinforcements. Bro Nissan, the only one alive here on the easternmost side in the hard cover. Could be the Partisans have more of a Polish vibe. Yeah, that's true as well. It could be Polish and Czech. Look at the combination of fire here, man. MG, Grenadier, Radio Man, all trying to get Bro Nissan out of his house. Machine guns on both sides. Look at the MG, the half-track on the other side now. MG's both sides on Bro Nissan's house. Holding on the best he can under a lot of suppressive fire. Got Rocker and Brand Power over here on the furthest east. Rocker missing his shots. Come on, Rocker. Okay. Rocker missing a few shots there. And then finally, Bro Nissan has gone down. Let's head back over to the west and see what is happening on the western side. The Partisans not suffering one casualty yet. Doing an incredible job here, holding up the western side. Not one casualty sustained there as they hold the center and are trying to support the west the best they can. Germans suffering a lot of casualties. Partisans, I jinxed it as sudden shit. I shouldn't have said anything. The Partisans finally suffering their first casualty there in their squadron. As Eggman is back tonight, and Skyros trying to hold the Germans on the furthest east as best they can. Eggman shot so hard, he was just vaporized. Just completely cracked. Not even a yolk left behind, man. Just gone. Oof. Poor Eggman. That's the German Wonder weapons there. As we've got another German half-track using those half-tracks the best they can as a hard cover to push forward to new positions. So the German forces doing a good job here. Breaking through that initial line of defense. Now the Allies have to either prepare a new line of defense or try to counter-push back. You can see Monroe, Hope, and Webb, who are on the second line of defense. They've gone down. Sommer has managed to save the 6-pounder, but there is a Bren carrier that has been abandoned and also a Willis Jeep that's been left behind here on the western side. You see the Partisans after helping the west from the center, they're now relocating. They're heading back over to the east now, ready to support the Allied defense on the east. They did an incredible job delaying the German forces on the west. Can they replicate that over here onto the east? Is Brand Power dead? I hate when their arrows are the wrong way around. Yeah, Brand Power's down. So you can see the encirclement the German forces are trying to do. They've tried to break through the flanks, and now they're trying to encircle around the forces. Typical of the Ion 9 behavior. We know they like to do their encirclements. We'll have to see if it pays off. See, just here's suppressive fire going out. Just continue Enfield fire from the defenders. Just trying to keep the German forces from moving. Suppressing them the best they can. As over on the east, we can see the remnants of the Sturm defensive squadrons. They're under a lot of pressure here. As they, along with some Partisans, they try to hold back the completely collapsed eastern flank now. One German casualty there as the Partisans are doing their best. Partisans are quickly becoming one of my favorite clans, man. I think they're cool. I like the name. I like how they work and operate. They seem very skilled and knowledgeable.
Pier kommt, was? Pier zurück, ab nach Süden, du gehst.
But they're trying to hold back the tide that has broken through to the east. Summer on that 6-pounder, trying to move it into a viable position. There's just the endless rifle and a little bit of machine gun fire goes out, spraying towards what was the first line of defense on the western side. Again, that is the power of suppression in this game mode. When you're using this mod in a one life event, doesn't matter if you're hitting or not. The suppression alone can be valuable enough. And that's what they're doing right now, and they're doing it to good success. You see the Partisans have divided a little bit into different fire teams. Well, let's head on board. The most aggressive fire team right now. It's a one life event? It is a one life event. Yes. One life event with respawns. Using the realism mod. You see the IR9 here, their division over here on the east. Spotting the flank that was coming in. One casualty sustained. Danny with a big gammon bomb. Can he finish off Coma? Gets a kill on Coma, but then Adam Pengu gets the kill on Adam Pengu as well. In fact, that might have been a little bit of misfire. That might have been his own grenade there. As Danny from the Partisans manages to inflict some serious casualties here on the eastern side. And yet again, it's the Partisans who are delaying a further advance from the Germans. They did a good job there on the western side. Now they're repeating the success over here on the east and delaying the German advances the best they can. And Danny with another kill there. That's 4 kills to his name just in this little theater of battle here. Good job to him. He's on his own now though, so he is going to have to retreat. But that's a good job there from the Partisans yet again, dealing casualties on a flank that was initially lost. Let's head on over to the west now, because it looks like the German forces have pushed forward on the west now. They're under a lot of fire. They've taken a few casualties as they've tried to push forward. They've taken over a concrete bunker near the second line of defense.
I have our brand carrier here. I could.
Mac missing his shot, missing his second shot, missing his third shot, missing his fourth shot. Finally hits with his fifth shot, takes down Tonka. Grenade goes out there by short, just fell a little bit short, otherwise it was well placed. Looks like Mac is trying to get to the brain carrier, and again, this is one live event. There's only a limited assigned amount of vehicles, so saving the brain carrier, that's a mobile spawn. It gives hard cover from infantry fire, and it's also got a weapon on board, so it is a vehicle you would want to save. If you can get over that. That might be a little bit ambitious, though. That might be a little bit ambitious there. It is only a brain carrier. So Shaw is using the trench line to get away as the Mac saves that brain carrier. The second fire team from the Partisans here. Danny has regrouped with them, probably sharing the feedback to them. Again, there's no squad chat in these one live realism events. You can only talk in local chat. There is squad communications, but only the radio man can talk to other squads. And how they do that is they usually use a special channel in Discord where all the radio man are gathered in a Discord group, and they have to relay that information shared in the Discord to then their squad leader and squad members. See Blitzkrieg on board this MG42 half-track here. As the IR9 soldiers, they regroup, they get on board, looking to maybe retreat temporarily. as they suffered a lot of casualties. And you can see the Axis forces have done a good job. They've punched through both flanks, left and right, and now they've got a lot of the Allies sandwiched in the middle. Can they continue that encirclement and crush the center? Favorite thing about realism is the radio men. Yes, it's a really cool way of doing it. I like that. Mortars coming down. Well-placed mortars, actually. Again, mortars so strong in these one life events. 3 mortar barrages. Forcing a little bit of movement on the defensive side. As we have Nappy. And Heinz. On the furthest west. Bren fire coming into them. As Nappy's trying to put shots in. Heinz. A little bit stuck here. As Mac brought the brain carrier back, and now we have the brains united once again side by side. So again, that's what's happened. We have lots of action, and then we get a lull in the action again as both teams have to reorganize, move into new positions, reassign their groups, because maybe one squad got half wiped and so did the other one. So they have to, whatever soldiers they have left, they have to, you know, re-merge into squads and get new orders. No commander assets in this event either. Neither team, I believe, has access to commander assets in the rule set for this one. I like this room, man. This art asset here, this little stream with the rocks, is probably the best looking part about Chapter 1 maps. It's so good that they actually use it in Chapter 2 maps. This is probably the best looking part of Chapter 1 maps right here. As Boost Gamer and Heavy die next to me and I didn't... I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was too busy looking at the water. It looks so nice. It's so cool. How does the video donkey does it? For the Mario announcement? He's so cool. Alright. You can hear the machine gun fire behind us. As the German forces, Allied forces regroup once again. If you haven't guessed it at this point, the first capture zone is this building. I don't know what gave it away. If you haven't guessed it by now, this is the first capture zone right here. That the German team needs to get in. They need to wipe out the Allies and they need to control it to move on to the next sector. If they take this first sector, 30 minutes is added onto the timer for them to advance onto the second and then the third sectors. Every sector they take, an extra 30 minutes is added. They have an hour for the first one. I imagine they've got only about 20 minutes left. So they're going to have to be a little bit nippy now if they want to manage to extend that timer. Man, I love this. Just the small changes, such as the half-trike being given camouflage. Just those small little changes is what I love about these mods, man. They just add more life and charm and feeling to them. And it's only a small thing that I imagine like the devs could do themselves. Just like an hour, half an hour. I know it doesn't look perfect in this mod. The bushes are like clipping through. But hey, it's just so cool. Tonga had his binoculars out. Is he going to go for a shot now? He had it. He does, and he lands the shot. He had his binoculars out, and he lands the shot after getting his rifle out. Binoculars back out again. Good shot by him there. Waited patient. Abandoned Logi truck. I'm not sure. Well, it's not. I don't think it's really needed, but strange this one there. The Allies returning fire now. As the Bren carrier's got itself in a little bit of an unfortunate position. Another kill there. The Allies suffering a lot of fire here. As you can see, the 363 VD division squadron got themselves into a nice firing line against this ridge line, putting pressure onto the Allied defenders. Lots of suppressive fire, forcing casualties. You can see the casualties just grow and grow here as the 6GA, mostly 6GA. There are Partisans, the 5th GB and Sturm, but it's a lot of 6GA defense at the moment, trying to hold back this next assault. "20 minutes remaining," so I was almost right. 20 minutes remaining for this first cap, and there is a lot of pressure coming in on the Allied force at the moment. Big shot there from that 6-pounder. You can see Summer still on that 6-pounder, managed to get a second half-track. That's the second confirmed half-track kill. Pengu goes down. I can't see the other names because we're all blended together, but that's another big kill there for that 6-pounder. As more and more troops arrive on the attack, the Logi truck goes down. More and more troops arrive to put pressure on the defenders. This is a weird little bit of the map. It looks a bit like a graphic glitch. How the ground is here. Dietrich putting himself in a good position. Unfortunately for him, he didn't manage to get any kills there. Otherwise, that would have been a perfect position to wipe out that German squad. He just lined one kill there. The Bren is probably one of the hardest vehicles to actually use his machine gun on. Gets a second go because it's not quite accurate and it's hard to aim with it. But nevertheless, Dietrich's got 2 casualties there. As the Allies are doing their best to hold on to this objective. Might be a good time for mortars if the Germans have any mortars on hand. Might be a good time for them to rain down a couple of mortars. They must know the Allies have a lot of defenders booked together onto the cap. As a flank squad comes in, look at the flanks, the flanking German forces there, using one of the motorbikes, using 2 motorbikes in fact. Unfortunately, they suffered a couple of casualties. But that motorbike's got into a good position there, fired a little bit of MG fire onto the camp. A couple of casualties. And a vehicle being destroyed. The Bren carrier, I'm not quite sure how the Bren carrier got destroyed, but the Bren carrier goes down there. As the German assault begins in its fullest now, you can see infantry, vehicles all being used here to try sandwich and suffocate the surrounded defenders here. Kuma getting hit by a grenade there. He's probably going to be able to banish that. Yeeter, on the other hand, gets yeeted by a grenade. He goes down. You could just see the Germans having a little bit of trouble here. Again, breaking that initial defensive line. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw mortars start to rain down a little bit to try blast a hole here, cause disruptions. Still a lot of casualties being sustained by the Allied defenders. especially on the eastern side of the objective. But just as saying, the Germans are also suffering a lot of casualties themselves on this big assault here. McTavish, he gets sniped out of his brain carrier. Those mortars are a little bit, I'm quite sure where they're coming from. They're a little bit off. Big shot there by that 6-pounder again. The third half-track goes down now, the one with Hannibal in. That's a third half-track that's been lost now by the Germans. That 6-pounder has done incredible work here today. And shots going out from that 6-pounder. These German forces really are in a bad spot here. Yeah. Yeah. Smokes going out next to the 6-pounder. Friendly smokes. It's just a shame for the Germans. I'm going to assume those are German mortars. Their mortars are just not on point. If those mortars were on the objective, this would be a completely different situation right now. I imagine the Germans would also be pretty much able just to walk up to the cap if those mortars were a little bit more accurate. But the misfire from the mortars, meaning the infantry, is suffering a lot of casualties as they try to push onto this objective. Also losing those half-tracks. Those are big assets lost to that 6-pounder. Allies have suffered a lot of casualties themselves. Oh, that's different. That 6-pounder still throwing shots down range. Firing on what looks like another vehicle there. Not quite sure what the German forces are doing over here, but it looks like they've got a plan of action. They've got something in plan. Sadly, we can't hear the communications from the other team. I'd love if that's a feature in the future where someone in the spectator cam can actually hear local chat from both teams. That would be amazing, especially in events like this. But a little bit of a flank going on here by the 363. They've done a good job getting a couple of kills there. On the flank, stretching the defenders more and more, forcing them to spread out their defenses. You can see the 6-pounder has actually gone offline at some point. Got hit by something big. Maybe a mortar strike landed on the 6-pounder. Not quite sure what landed there. Could have been a grenadier. Could have been a mortar strike. Who knows? You can see another wave coming in for the Germans. The mortars. Okay. The mortars starting to get a little bit more accurate now. Starting to land in the right direction. I imagine there's a spotter now. There's probably a spotter guiding the mortar saying, yeah, that's accurate. Maybe do it a little bit further back. That's looking better and better there. casualties over. Two German forces over. And yeah, those mortars, you can see the mortars slowly moving further and further back. As I imagine they've got a spotter trying to call back and like make them more accurate. You can see the defenders being pushed back further and further. They initially at the front they had a line of defense on the front along the ditch line. But now they're being forced further and further back behind walls into buildings, and look how accurate those mortars are now. Those are going to make a complete difference here for this first objective. Immediately 2 kills there, forcing a lot of the defenders inside the building, as those mortars are perfectly accurate now. Can the defenders hold on? I imagine there's probably only 10 to 15 minutes left. Can the defenders hold on? 10 minutes remaining. Man, my eternal clock is amazing. There's the hand mortar. So you can see the hand mortars now, and they're being communicated. Now the hand mortar is actually closer to the front line. He actually knows more accurately where his mortars are landing and if they're having any success. Blowing up a stray commander car there. Winter takes a buzzsaw straight to his head. You can just hear the tinging as German bullets riddle the metal bodies of these British soldiers. Big wave of fire now coming in. Machine guns, rifles, trying to hammer the defenders here. Using that aerial reconnaissance as well there. German innovation there, trying to use that aerial reconnaissance to allow them continue their assault. Unison machine gun fire. You can hear the machine guns fire, trying to keep the defenders' heads down. Working in good combination. Not just spraying a full magazine. Trying to keep up the rate of fire. Trying to keep the suppression as long as possible. Those mortars still doing a good job, picking up a few kills and a few shrapnel wounds here and there. I think the Germans only have 1 mortar available, maybe, or they've chosen to use only 1 mortar. As a couple of smoke barrages come down now. Look at the smoke barrages landing. Good placed mortars again. Fuchs goes down there from those mortars. Ooh, boring, trying to hold that angle. He was trying to call back. He was trying to call back to his team, but did any of his team hear his call out? That the western flank has been broken, has been infiltrated. Grenades being exchanged from both sides. Lots of kills here from those grenades. Look at the grenades going out from both sides now. Grenades, gammon bombs, heavy ordnance satchels, all being thrown out there, and it's completely cleared both sides of that wall. Germans continue their push. Lots of casualties on the inside of the barn as well. Looks like some well-placed mortars have landed in the doorways, maybe sending a blast wave on the inside. McTavish there. Unfortunate for Tonka. He missed the shot, but Tavish. Mac getting the kill on Nap there as well. 8 minutes remaining for the Germans. Another big mortar strike there. Gets a double kill with smoke. Germans running out of time a little bit. The Allies on defense have suffered a lot of casualties, and the Germans do have a lot of forces left. Can they break through what remains of the defenders?
South from the road.
Flo Joe. Flo Joe? I love the name. Every time you hear that ting of metal, that means a British soldier has lost his life. Because as anyone knows, the English, we're made of metal. We are made of metal. He was so close to the door. He was so close. High and long there. Hit from the flank as Rocker and Brandpower Clan Storm pushed around to the western flank to try cut off where those German forces were breaching. You can remember that most of the pushes are coming in from the western side, so it looks like the Allies have sent out a couple of squadrons, small squads, to deal with the western flank, plug the hole that's been breached.
I'm gonna cover you. Come on. Go, go.
Philip and Hetzer here being brave on the motorbike. Gets Bjorn. Almost gets Jonathan. He was under a lot of pressure there. I'm surprised he stayed alive for that long. With Seb that close. 5 minutes remaining. And we've resorted to World War I tactics now. A big gammon bomb goes out there. As Pingu and Daisko lead the charge now with Marcus. The only ones alive closest forward. Marcus breached through the first bush line. Can Danny from the Partisans hold him off? Marcus makes it to cover that MP40, but he gets sprayed as Webb holds down the corner with that Bren. Point is contested. There are enough German forces here to clear them out. A little bit of friendly fire from that 6-pounder there. All it would take is some big grenades here. Some big grenades. More friendly fire from that 6-pounder then. Sky needs a demotion. He's not trained to use that gun. And there's his demotion right there. Mortars land on top of his head.
They're really close.
Yeah.
I saw one
just
crawling
out.
next to those barrels there.
They're over the bushes there.
That one.
Allies holding on the best they can. Doing a good job as Eggman and Shaw now getting themselves into a good flanking position to tidy up what remains. Oh, that was a big grenade there. Was that a misfire with that grenade? I feel like that might have been a misfire. Hive go down. I think that is the last of the German German attackers. I don't see any on the boat aside from out there. On the long way is Yeeter. No, Yeeter's down. It's just down to Alvarez now. Run home. Run home. Go home. That's it. Come on. Come on. Go home. Go home. Your wife and your children. They're waiting for you. Go back to Berlin.
You can break it to me, medic.
Now, unless there is one wave left for the Germans, I think that might be it. They've got 4 minutes left. Climb on the car. Climb up. That's it. Get on. You can do it. Hold on the best you can. The moment he goes over this bump, yeah, Ludwig's gone. Is it Heinz on the mortar? Who's on the mortar? Oh, here they are. Feeney and Lieutenant Kropp. Using the M... Look, anything they've got left. Anything they've got left. Just throw it forward. I mean, you've got the time. Ludwig... Oh, Ludwig bugged out. He's got that bug where his character is, like, stuck on the ground after he gets hit by a vehicle. That's unfortunate for him. I don't know if the Germans are going to be able to make it in time. They might do. They might have just be enough to make it in time to contest the point. This is maybe not the best way to do it. But they're broken through. The Elite Four. Scott holds the door. They've got a bunch of kills. Schultz with a grenade on the inside. Somehow didn't kill Cheese right. That's incredible. You look at Scott, man. The MSP arrived. Eggman. Somehow still alive. Yep, he's gone. The last wave, just a volley of fire coming in. They do have another Kubelwagen. That, yep. Mount it up, get in. 1 minute remain. 1 minute remains. Oh, Maximan loses his head there as Coma pushes in. These mortars have actually done a good job at the later stage here. Look at these mortars. Done a good job. Only a handful of defenders actually remain. And they've got to withpel this last big wave of Germans. Cheese right on the inside. Misses the kill on Coma. Gets Pingu. Doesn't get Coma. Grenade there gets Coma. Cheese right holding on for dear life. Look at this big tidal wave of red. Cheese right holding out. And the Axis. Only Cheese right left, it seems, and Sky. That's going to be a victory for the Axis on the first cap. Big grenade there. Cheese right, get. Cheese right. They don't know you're here, man. You can get so many kills. That's it, Cheese right. You're doing it. It's not over. Now it's over. Rosberg. I think the Allies might have used all their respawn waves as well. So what you see left alive, that is literally it. I think only Rosberg is alive. They might have another respawn wave. Oh, bro, Nissan. Can Rosberg and bro Nissan defend the next 2 caps? No. Come on, Rosberg. I believed. Nope. Well, that is going to be a GG. Both teams ran out of respawn waves. Let's have a look at the kills to deaths quickly. So we've got 126 kills for the Allies, 96 for the Axis. Just run down here. Pause the video quickly. 21 there with Hope, who was on the AT gun, I believe. Pause the video quickly. Like I said, if you want to see these, I need sneeze. I think that's going to be a tie. Both teams ran out of respawns. The Axis did take the first cap, but no respawns left in either side. I enjoyed that. As always, I really enjoyed these one life realism events utilizing the Scriptum realism mod. And as always, time for the outro. YouTube. If you've just watched this on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. We're only 1,000 subs away. Sorry, we need to hit 1,000 subs. We're only 600 away. If you could subscribe, it's free. It would help us out massively to take the channel to the next step of its evolution and to provide better and more content. And as always, remember to check out the Twitch at twitch.tv/the_Yazoo. And yeah, YouTube signing off. Bye bye. Take care. Have a good one. And a big thank you to this month's Twitch subscribers: Jabes, Wildane303, Kaiser NG, Mepinator, Wafflecop, Callum Derp, Soft and Sally, Morning Calf, Fury Arrow 01, Treesap Jake, Yazoo_bot, Brolifer, It's Carl's Designs, Selly_Kitty, and The Juice 056.